The project is a forestry project to mitigate fuels, to reduce fuel loads, to reduce the risk of catastrophic wildfire, and also to improve the health and resiliency of the forest on Salish Kootenai lands and also on the private lands that are adjacent to it.
One of the concerns in this tip area, what they call the Wildland Urban Interface, WUI, and looking around, this is a pretty natural setting, but within this 5,000 acres, there's probably close to 600 homes, that would be affected in the event that a wildfire would happen. And there's also very limited access. There's one main road in and out, so if a fire were to happen, depending on where it's at, it could be pretty serious for some people.
The work being done here is kind of a landscape scale project where we are encompassing a variety of ownerships and different land management practices and trying to make it work for everyone involved. And to do that, you have to have a lot of different partners who are involved in the process.
The Conservation District and NRCS have been working together to do the targeted implementation plans where we pick one area to focus our efforts on, and NRCS gets funding for it, the district gets funding for it, and DNRC has been giving us technical support to get projects done specifically for forestry.
So we can pretty much determine that this tree needs to be removed, and we can back that up by looking at its growth.
So there's a lot of science and education that goes into taking these trees out.
Yeah. We're not just really guessing, so.
Obviously, within this area, there's a lot of forest work, there's a lot of need, and you can't pick any kind of project within the boundaries of the Flathead Reservation without hitting some of the tribal land and without hitting something that they're involved in. Their footprint of the work they're doing is way beyond the 5,000 acres that we focused on.
About 60% of this area is tribal lands, and we have the majority of that is tribal forest. And so we are working with NRCS to reduce some of this fire risk on our lands. So this area here, you could tell that it's not treated. There's a lot more trees per acres, there's shrubs. So if you could imagine, picture what a fire would do if it went through an area like this through the middle of summer. There's a lot of ladder fuels, so it would carry it up into the crown.
So behind us we have a WUI project, a Wildland Urban Interface. We have a one road in, one road out, and behind we have probably 5 houses that are back there. So with this project, we kind of wanted to lower the fire risk within the urban interface. So what we have here is our safety bay logging area, our logging unit, about 65 acres. It was pretty thick with understory. As we can see, we do leave a little bit of region behind. That's just for visual purposes. That's kind of our pride and joy, is our fire program and our forestry program.
This is one of our first spots that we have conducted a fuel management project through the NRCS. As you can see, and what we're trying to do with our fuel mitigation project is to create space between the crowns. So we're trying to keep the fire on the ground rather than have it climb up into the crowns and then spread through the crowns. Before harvest, the overall density of the stand is very thick. So you run the potential there of a fire coming through, getting up into the crown and the canopy, and then moving uphill. And fire has a tendency to move uphill because it preheats the canopy ahead. So it makes it more susceptible to fire because it dries out the fuel as it moves up slope. So it's very difficult to catch fire running uphill. So by implementing a project like this, we can reduce that risk, keep the fire on the ground, and again, we can increase the health and vigor of the stand.
Montana Focused Conservation, MFC, is a partners-based process whereby we work with a variety of nonprofit partners, government organizations, and private landowners to accomplish landscape scale conservation. And all of these partnerships help us to accomplish the goal by bringing together all of the stakeholders that have a say in the process. And so by getting all of these groups of people together, you end up with a better project in the end because there's much more buy-in across diverse groups of people and diverse organizations.
It helps out everybody, and that's the thing is, it's not just our land, it's people's homes that could be affected.
The relationships that we've developed, over the years have really made this possible. And speaking from the DNRC standpoint, that's very important to us, that we maintain those and grow those relationships, because ultimately that's where we can impact and have the most bang for our buck.